Imagine standing in a cold, dark alley. Your hands are trembling, and cold sweat is freezing on your forehead under a cheap black ski mask you bought at a hardware store with your last few bucks. In your pocket, there's a rusty pocket knife, and in your head, just one thought. Either you take this step right now, or tomorrow you won't have enough money for rent or food. You stare at the dim light of the 24/7 convenience store counter across the street. Your heart is pounding so hard it echoes in your temples. This is your first step. The day you decided to become a bank robber. But you don't even realize how deep this rabbit hole goes, or the levels you'll reach. If you survive. Level 1. The Rookie. I'm 18 years old, and my bank account is literally at zero. I'm standing in front of a cashier at a convenience store. My voice shakes even more than the knife in my hand. Open the register. Now, I yell, trying to sound dangerous, but I'm more terrified than the poor guy behind the counter. Everything I know about robbery comes from movies. I didn't account for cameras. I didn't realize the panicked cashier would hit the silent panic button under the desk, and I completely forgot about fingerprints. The clerk throws a pile of crumpled bills onto the counter, barely $200. I snatch it and run like hell. I trip over a curb, scrape my knees, but keep sprinting. My first take is barely enough for 2 pairs of shoes. But the adrenaline rush I felt when I clutched that cash stays with me. I realized 2 things. Crime punishes fools, but easy money is dangerously addictive. Level 2. The Street Predator. A year has passed. I realized robbing corner stores is an idiot's game for pennies. Now, I play it smarter. I bought a cheap airsoft pistol that looks like a real 9mm Glock from a distance. My new targets. People withdrawing cash at ATMs late at night and small currency exchanges. I stalk my prey. I watch who withdraws large stacks, follow them into dark hallways or alleys. A quick strike, gun in their face, a few seconds, and I vanish into the night. My earnings jump to a few $1,000s per hit. But along with the money comes heavy paranoia. Every time a police cruiser drives past, my heart stops. I learned to switch clothes every 2 blocks, ditch my shoes, and never look directly at security cameras. Still, I'm small-time, living from job to job. Level 3. The Getaway driver. Some serious local guys noticed me. They needed someone with a cool head behind the wheel. I'm no longer running on foot. My domain is a idling engine, an escape route, and second-by-second precision. We steal a high-performance sedan half an hour before the hit. I study every alley, every traffic light, and every blind spot in the city's camera network. While the crew goes into a jewelry store, my pulse stays dead steady, 60 beats a minute. 3 minutes. If they are not out in 3 minutes, I leave without them. They dive into the car, doors slam, and the dance with the cops begins. Screeching tires, running red lights, cutting through narrow alleys. I lose the sirens within minutes and torch the car in a prearranged garage. My cut? $15,000. For the first time, I'm holding crisp stacks of hundreds, but watching real pros work makes me realize one thing. I want to be the one running the entire show. Level 4. The Vault Cracker. I spent years mastering mechanics and electronics. I'm no longer sitting behind the wheel or yelling at cashiers. I'm the reason the operation exists in the first place. I'm the guy who opens doors. My arsenal now includes high-frequency drills, thermal lances that burn metal at 4,000 degrees, and mechanical stethoscopes for combination locks. We target credit unions and private deposit vaults. While the crew secures the perimeter, it's just me and a half-ton steel door. I have a maximum of 8 minutes before alarms cut through our signal jammers. Every locked combination is a math problem where the penalty for a mistake is 15 years in federal prison. When the heavy steel bolt finally clicks open, revealing safety deposit boxes stuffed with cash and diamonds, I feel like a surgeon completing a flawless operation. My cut. $100,000 in a single night. Level 5. The crew leader. I'm no longer a hired hand. I build my own crews. I choose the targets, regional banks with serious capital. I design the master plan. The hacker disables the feeds, the cracker handles the vault, the enforcers control the lobby, and the driver waits in the alley. I don't tolerate mistakes. One wrong move by anyone, and the job is scrubbed. We drill the robbery in abandoned warehouses until it's pure muscle memory. Stopwatches replace wristwatches. During the hit, I control every square inch of the room. We don't just take cash, we clean out safety deposit boxes filled with bearer bonds and untraceable jewels. The haul. Over $1.50 million. But with big money comes absolute control and heavy paranoia. If one of my guys gets caught, he could trade me to lower his sentence. Trust is a luxury I can no longer afford. Level 6. The Mastermind. I don't step foot inside the bank anymore. In fact, I'm not even in the same country when the job goes down. I've turned robbery into high-level mathematics and architectural engineering. I buy blueprint schematics of central vaults, bribe security directors, and analyze transit schedules over 6-month periods. My heists don't require a single gunshot. We dig 200-meter tunnels under city streets or infiltrate through air vents over 3-day holiday weekends when the bank is locked down. When the police show up on Monday morning, the vault is completely empty, and we're already flying under fake passports to non-extradition islands. My payout: $10 million in a single job. I have dozens of false identities, safe houses across the globe, and encrypted accounts. But Interpol now has a dedicated task force with my ghost profile on their wall. Level 7. The Syndicate boss. I don't rob banks anymore. I control the people who rob them, and the people who own the banks. My main problem isn't taking the cash. It's cleaning it. Millions in dirty dollars are washed through offshore shell corporations, luxury real estate, fine art auctions, and crypto mixers. I have high-ranking politicians, detectives, and judges on my payroll. If a crew wants to pull a major heist in my territory, they pay me a 20% tax for intelligence, protection, and laundering. I run a shadow empire from a luxury penthouse. But my enemies aren't beat cops anymore. They are international intelligence agencies and rivals waiting for me to slip up. I haven't slept peacefully in years. Every phone call could be a betrayal. Level 8. The Global Ghost. Physical cash is a relic of the past. Real wealth exists only as digital code. My crew consists of elite hackers, former intelligence operatives, and financial engineers. We don't use masks or weapons. Our tools are malicious code and social engineering. We breach the SWIFT international banking system. With a single click of the Enter key, we redirect hundreds of millions of dollars from central bank reserves into thousands of anonymous crypto wallets worldwide. The feds don't even realize what happened until the funds have dissolved into the blockchain. I have no legal name, my face isn't in any database, and I am a myth whispered in law enforcement academies. I control hundreds of millions, but I can never go home or hold my family again. Level 9. The Legend. I beat the system. I did what only a handful of people in human history ever managed to do. I walked the entire path from a terrified $200 stick-up to stealing billions, and I walked away a free man. Books are written about my heists, movies are made about my methods, and federal academies study my operations. I have everything anyone could ever dream of. Unimaginable wealth, total freedom, ultimate power. But sitting here on the terrace of my private island, looking out at the ocean under a brand new name and face, I often think back to that very first night. That terrified 18-year-old kid holding a rusty pocket knife in a freezing alley. He thought he was robbing a store to change his life. And only now, decades later, do I understand the real truth. In this game, you always end up paying back far more than you steal. So, Nud, at what level would you have stopped? Let me know in the comments.